Essential question 4 is, how did the war effort and leadership problems affect the society and economy of the Confederacy? The president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis, found himself during the war unable to effectively lead. Most of that was due to the fact that the Confederacy was not as centralized as the Union was. The Union was a federal system, whereas the Confederacy was a confederacy, very much like the United States was under the Articles of Confederation, and we know that that made it really hard to solve problems and to steer a national government. So again, the President of the Confederacy found it very difficult to effectively lead because simply the political system that he found himself governing. Also, the Confederacy found that so-called King Cotton diplomacy was unsuccessful. The King Cotton diplomacy was the idea that Southern cotton was so crucial to the manufacturing of Britain and France that Britain or France or both would get involved to recognize the Confederacy or to even assist them because they wanted to keep those exports coming in. We know that this doesn't work, and that is especially true after the Union victory at the Battle of Antietam. Next, many Southerners saw the Confederate draft as a violation of states' rights and individual liberties, and as a result, they opposed it. Most Southern farmers were yeoman farmers, not wealthy plantation owners. Many of these yeoman farmers opposed the so-called 20 Negro provision that exempted one white male for every 20 slaves on a plantation, because that favored wealthy plantation owners who owned 20 or more slaves. Finally, the Union blockade of the South, which was referred to as the Anaconda Plan because it was like, a snake strangling the economy of the South. The Union blockade or Anaconda Plan caused supply and food shortages, meaning that Confederate soldiers found themselves very poorly supplied oftentimes, and they would desert Confederate lines and essentially leave and go back home. And there was also widespread starvation and supply shortages on the home front of the Confederacy as well. So the Confederacy faced an awful lot of challenges in conducting the war effort, which ultimately helped to lead to their defeat.